Hi, this is David. Welcome to part 2 of the Restorative Yoga series. Please sit back and enjoy as we dive into further tips on restorative yoga and how that can be impactful in your life starting right now. I want to invite you again to please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so we can further discuss this together as a community. And without further ado, enjoy part 2. So let's move on to fish. Now, fish is going to be subjective for everyone. Some people might take a bolster and they're going to plant it right under the lumbar spine to lower their back. And they're just going to go under and they're going to let that arch their back. Now, this is really tasking on me. It's not painful, but it's really stretching my spine. So for me, I'm going to roll to my right. If I'm doing this restorative, I would probably prefer something like a blanket. Now, the fold here might be a little bit too thick, so I'm going to loosen it up like this. And if I have someone in pain with back pain, a herniated disc, I'll probably do it like this. And they're going to come down, and they're simply just going to lay just like that. If they want to really work, they're going to arch their head and look back behind them best they can. And that's all they're going to do. 5 to 10 minutes. Breath in, breath out. Now, with a posture like this, they may not even notice or engage in their muscles until you remove the blanket. So I'm going to rotate over, inhale, exhale. I rotate to my right. I remove the blanket. A lot of times I do this for them. And when they go back, you hear that, oh, and they feel the difference. They feel where their body was working and being worked, but they feel the difference. They didn't feel it while they're in the pose because it's such a simple posture for their muscles. But once we take away the obstacle, they can feel where they were actually engaging and working when they were doing a deep breathing. Over the course of those 5 to 10 minutes, it did work their back. Now, some people want to feel it. Restorative, you don't need to feel the activity going on for the results to come. But if they really want to feel it, I don't necessarily have to stop them either. They can still do restorative. That's where I'll take this bolster or I'll take the blanket or make it thicker. And that's where I'll go back to the original example like this. I hope that makes sense. Any questions on that? Let me know. But that is fish. That's another 5 to 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever's comfortable for someone. Fish, because it's demanding on the lumbar and thoracic spine, I would hold off until maybe 20 to 30, 40 minutes into a session. That's when I'd probably attack it. You can earlier, there's nothing wrong with it. That said, I would hold off a little bit when it comes to fish on giving it too much duration. Okay, let's move forward. Couple different twists. This time, because we have the space for it, I want to show you Revolved bolster twist. I'm going to try to say it again. Revolve bolster twist. There's a couple different ways to do this. I like to take the full-size bolster. This is very helpful for this type of posture. And I'm going to take it. And I'm going to almost do a butterfly. I'm going to turn this sideways. Now you can use pillows. If you're at home, you can definitely use pillows. And what you're going to do, you can put a blanket over here, which I do for a lot of patients. I'm going to take this leg, I'm going to turn it up, and then I'm going to turn it out just like this. So it's going to be a little bit of an L. Excuse me, not an L, but an L both legs. So take a look at my profile from here. You see it? You got knee here, ankle here, knee here, ankle there. And bolster again, it's going to be facing perpendicular, perpendicular. So here's the line, right? Bolster's going that way, legs going this way. I'm going to hug my bolster, just like this. This is one of the deepest spine twists you're going to probably do in yoga, and you're just going to collapse to the bolster. Now, if you want the easiest on your spine, you're going to face the direction of your knees. This is where my pregnant women are going to hold out and be. And if I have someone that's probably in their second or third trimester, I might take a block like this and just put it like this. Now, this is really good for them to be able to twist your spine very gently. I might take another block, make it even higher. Just like this. Just like this. Kick out the legs, make it a little easier on them. Just like this. Okay. If you want to make it a little bit more difficult, you have someone that really wants to open up their spine. They're going to face down, just like this, and they're going to breathe. Inhale, exhale. The most difficulty, you're going to turn your head away from your knees towards the direction of your butt. And this is where you lay your head down, and you're going to feel on each vertebrae. And you collapse your chest right into the bolster. Each vertebrae, as you turn your head, you're going to feel this. With my neck like this, as I breathe in, inhale. Relax your shoulders, exhale. As my neck is like this, I'm actually doing a posture that's going to loosen up my neck. So it's a great way to introduce a posture to loosen up your neck, work your back, work your lower body. We're going to hold 5, 10, 15 minutes. What we do to one side, you do to the other. If you don't, you really will walk a little funny, lopsided for that day. So go ahead and swap positions. From this profile, you can really see me put this bolster just like this. So legs out here, here. And if I need something, I can use a block to hold it up, or I can just prop it up a little higher. This time, instead of a block under, I'm going to use a blanket. This is fine. Look at my spine, look at my anatomy, try to see through my muscles, and you'll see the curve I'm producing. That's what we want. We want them to have a bit of a curve. I'm going to go ahead, collapse into the bolster, breath in, breath out. So if you see on the camera, you should see my spine twisted. You can see a curve. That's what you want to look for with your students. You want them to also be able to feel it as they inhale, exhale. If their head is turned like this and their neck's turned like this, they're going to feel it. So you want to make sure if they are feeling it, which they should at this point, if it's too much, they're backing off. If it's too much, they can face down. If they want a little bit easier, they can face the direction of their knees. If they want it even easier, they're going to kick out their legs. So you can kick out their leg like this, kick out their back leg like that. That's going to take some pressure off their back and make it far easier for them. So myself, I've done these poses thousands of times. I've taught them thousands of times, literally. And I still learn something every time. So try your best to, if you can, stay engaged, keep observing, ask how people are feeling without taking them out of the practice. It's a little bit of a balancing act. A lot of times I may come to someone, for example, and for sake of being on the screen, I'm going to be on my knees, but pretend I'm standing. I walk over to someone and I might, before I touch them, I might just signal, ask them, check in, thumbs up, take a look at them. If I feel like they're not in position right and I feel like it's causing them a problem, maybe pain, I might tap them. If I can't get their attention, ask them if I can show them something. I might lay right next to them. I might give them a visual example. If that still doesn't work and a visual example is not working, that's when I step in and I ask them if I can move them. And I literally might take their arm, gently, slowly move it here. Take their leg, gently, slowly move it here. I talk with them the whole time. I whisper. And we find out if that works for them. So that's something that you could do in some of these restorative postures. We have the time for it because it's going to be 5 to 10 minutes each posture. It's going to be time in between where they just sit, observe, feel what happened. Okay? Let's talk about Pigeon. Now, ideally, the spinal twist is going to be a posture I'm going to throw in before Savasana. When you do a spinal twist, it's going to be susceptible to opening up the chest, which is where a lot of emotions are stored. So you'll have people do different types of events. Some people will laugh hysterically, which I've seen happen, and they told me, oh, David, that's not going to happen. Lo and behold, they're laughing hysterically, and everyone's like, he told you it was going to happen potentially. It just depends. Some people get very angry. Some people get very sad. They might have outbursts, crying. It's all a safe space. It's all normal. I just remind them, I let them know ahead of time, but I remind them too, it's very normal. It's a release of emotions. This is a safe space. Your body's allowing you, with all the breath work, to let go of whatever tension is stuck there. And that tension has triggered some sort of memory in the brain because the way the neurons of this work. So that's all very normal activity. Ideally, you want to give them a place and a space to feel and do and act appropriately. So when someone's crying or sobbing, I don't run up and personally, I don't run up and hug them. I just check on them, ask them if they need a tissue, or, I just kind of watch. And if someone else in the class wants to do that, that's fine. But I want to let them have that opportunity to be with themselves and figure it out. And if they need help, I'm there for them as their helper and their friend. But at the same token, I want to give them an opportunity to do whatever they need to do and feel whatever they need to feel for however long they need to feel it. And you'll be surprised. Usually it doesn't interfere with the class, even though others may feel a little bit, not sad, just, like they want to help, like there's something that they might need to do. And that's okay too. That's all part of the process. This is us all figuring out how this works together. But for the most part, as teachers, we just let them have that opportunity, and we just kind of let whatever happens organically and authentically come. I always tell them they can think whatever they want to think in the class. They can even think, I hate David, I want to kill him. I tell them, please don't kill me. And then if you do, I'll come back and I'll haunt you. But for the most part, I want them to be free to feel and think whatever they need to do. It almost has to be that way for them to be free enough to really get to the places that we want them to go mentally and spiritually in yoga. These postures with the breath work will get them there. The science behind it shows it. The way the brain works shows it. So we want them to be free enough, once they're there, to have an opportunity to enjoy whatever the body is asking them to enjoy. Okay? So let's go back to Pigeon. When we're getting into Pigeon, ideally, if they're getting on their hands and knees or their back, I like to kind of sync them to get there at a certain time. So say they're getting on their hands and knees now. I'm going to rotate, inhale, exhale. I'm going to fall towards my left, kick out my legs. This isn't easy for everyone as it is for me. So I keep that in mind. I'm on my hands and knees. Checking with myself, am I okay? Cool. I'm going to breathe in. As I exhale, I'm going to slide this right knee up in between the fingers. The palms. Let's give you a profile so you can see. So here are my palms. At the base of my palms, that's where this knee comes, right in between. And right here, I'm in the posture. I'm in the pose. Now, if I want to do a little bit more, I take this knee. I'm going to do a lateral movement. Now, medial is going to be towards your heart. Lateral is going to be away from your heart. So I breathe in. On the exhale, you're going to rotate that knee lateral away from your heart. Now, I'm at 90 degrees here. This can be a lot for a lot of people. It's definitely used to be a lot for me, not so much anymore, but I can even feel the balancing I have to do in my shoulder girdle because I have the strength for it. This is okay. But that soon, right away, this is an opportunity to give someone a block. So if they take a block, this is going to take a lot of pressure off their body. You'll see them go, oh, that's so much better, because now they don't have to support themselves. But did I change positions? No. So keep watching the video with my arms. So my arms are straight, right? I put the blocks down. I didn't change anything. I just made it easier for them to stay in the postures longer. So those that are having a hard time in resisting the props, you want to remind them you're making it more fair for them so they can benefit. You're not cheating. They're not cheating themselves. They'd be cheating themselves if they didn't do it. If it gets to a point where it's really too much, one thing they can do as well is come down just like this, right onto their forearms, with the blocks or without. Those without the blocks can do this, and if they have the flexibility, they can go chest down. When I would work with a soldier who was stationed in Iraq, he would go chest down during our Zoom sessions. I couldn't do that. I would do it with him here and there, depending on the day. But personally, for me, I don't have that flexibility. But for him, he did. So it's really subjective who's going to do that. Ideally, though, when you're doing restorative, comfort trumps form. Well, that does it for part 2. Thank you for enjoying the series on restorative yoga. I hope you picked up some tips and tricks that you can utilize and really enjoy and receive some benefit from today and going forward. I want to invite you again to please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way we can be in a sense of community together. We can discuss some of these topics and we can continue to circulate some of these great ideas. Wishing you well, and we can't wait to see you soon for the next series. Take care.